Hi everyone, it's James here from the Studio Rats. You just heard me there noodling through my Positive Grid Spark Live. Now I've got a full review coming very soon of the Spark Live over on TSR Jivey Talks Tech, the other Studio Rats channel. But this feature video sits very firmly in the Studio Rats normal camp, all things guitar, amp and pedals etc. Or so I thought. But as you'll soon see when we get into it, this little box can turn your Spark Live in particular into a very powerful practice and performance tool. The little box in question down here by my feet is the Ulooper USB loop station by a company called Xsonic, the same people who bring us the Bluetooth switches for the Spark and other AMP 2.0 style guitar amps. Ulooper turns your Spark amp into a multitone looper. Now what do I mean by multitone? Well, conventional loop pedals work on the input to your amp, meaning if you change the amp tone from clean to distortion, say, the tone of the loop will also change. And while this can be okay, it's far from ideal and somewhat limiting. In an amp with an effects loop, you can put the looper pedal in the loop to get round this sonic issue. But what if your amp doesn't have an effects loop, like the Positive Grid Spark series, the Boss Katana 50, or the Yamaha THR series? Well, this is where the Ulooper steps in to win the day. The Xsonic Ulooper is a small metal chassis pedal with a level pot and a foot switch on the front. On the top we have 3 ports. The first is for power. This can come from a standard USB-C style 5-volt charger, or in this case from the charge output on the Spark Live. This port can also be connected to your PC or Mac for firmware updates as and when they become available. The center port is for 9-volt power, the sort of thing that could come from a pedal power unit. And the final port is our USB Type A connection, which goes off to your amp. And again, in this case, it's the Spark Live. There are also 2 1/4-inch jacks. The one on the right is not currently in use, so please don't think I'm cheating. You do not need to plug your guitar into the Ulooper. Your guitar or other sound source, and there's a bit of a giveaway, is plugged in to the Spark amp as normal. The 1/4-inch output on the left is a mono balanced output, meaning you can send this off to a PA, or in my case, I can take a nice clean feed for the recording. Other than that, you plug your guitar into the amp, you plug the Ulooper into the USB port, and away you go. The Ulooper is a doddle to use. A solid blue LED means the Ulooper is ready and there are no loops currently stored. To record a loop, hit the pedal once, which will turn the LED red. Then, when you want to finish recording the loop, hit the pedal again. Once we finish recording the loop, it will continue to play with a solid green LED, indicating playback. It's worth noting that the first loop recording defines the length of all the loops which are going to follow. So if you're going to record a 4-bar chord progression, you need to record 4 bars of your opening loop to make it all line up. Now we can change the guitar tone, leaving the loop's tone unchanged, and hit the pedal to record an overdub. During the overdubs, the LED turns yellow. Double tapping will stop playback and the LED will blink green. To restart, just hit the pedal again. We can control the level of the loop either with the level pot on the top of the pedal or with the music level on the Spark Live. This functionality is a little different depending on the Spark model you have. If you want to clear the recordings, double tap and hold for 2 seconds. Now at the moment there is no undo or redo function, which is a shame, but this is something that Xsonic are looking into and could come as a firmware update later on down the line. However, I'm no Ed Sheeran or Katie Tunstall, but I'm getting the hang of this looping lark pretty quickly. At the moment, Ulooper supports the full range of Positive Grid Spark amps. And again, I'm told that support for selected Boss Katana amps and the Yamaha THR Mark 1 and 2 is in development. However, there's no time frame for these updates as yet. However, the Spark Live amp brings something a whole lot more fun to the party. As with Spark Live, you not only get inputs for guitar or bass, but you also get line level inputs for things like keyboards or drum machines and a microphone input. And these other inputs can also be used when looping. Beatboxing, anyone? The only thing to remember here is that all the instruments and mics that are connected to your Spark amp, and in this case the Spark Live, because there are lots of inputs, are live into the Ulooper all the time. Even if you turn the channel master down, or even the master volume on the Spark mixer, signals are still getting to the Ulooper, and so can be fed into your loop. So if you're using a mic in your loops, make sure it's out of the way and not picking up any sound from your amp or your feet when looping. So that's the Xsonic Ulooper loop pedal for the Positive Grid Spark amp range, with support for other 2.0 style amps coming very shortly. If you have a Spark amp and want to perform with it, this is a great addition to your rig. It's easy to use. As you've seen, even I can do it. It's easy to set up, it's small, it's well built. What's not to love? This thing is going to give you hours of practice and performance fun. And that's what it's all about at the end of the day, making music and having some fun. So I really hope you enjoyed that. I'll leave a link to the Ulooper page of the Xsonic website down there in the comments. And as always, please do like, subscribe, hit the bell, all the normal stuff to be kept up to date with all new videos coming from the Studio Rats. But for now, my name's James Ivey and I'll see you again very soon.